I'm Yashwant. So I'm here to share some tips that I used for myself while preparing for Google. I'm doing this as a continuous version of the video that was shared already in my profile. So many people commented that it was very short. So I thought people will like an elaborated version to help them prepare for their dream company. By elaborated, I don't mean it to be very lengthy. However, I'll try to keep it as short as possible so that the content is limited and things are to the point. Let's get started with my story. So I currently work in Google. I've been in Google for the last 3 years. So I joined Google sometime in 2018. I got inspired to join Google somewhere around 2013 when Sundar Pichai became one of the leaders in Google. So that's when I decided, I should also be part of something so big something so big that Google is. But 2013 is already my final year, so I don't have enough time left to plan for this to this new career goal that I have planned by then. So I sat for campus placements. I got placed in one company in my campus placements. It's a service-based company. It's based out of Hyderabad. It's a really good company actually. Looking back now, I realize how good that company is. But as like anybody of us, we tend to compare ourselves or our company with other companies and try to see the good and bad in both of these things. So it so happened that I had a friend. She joined this startup in her campus placement. This startup was really good. They got funding in after a couple of months she joined. So she got really good hikes. The company was doing very well. They went to all kinds of places in Hyderabad for the weekends. So I was hearing to some of the stories that she was telling, and I got I should also be part of some such good company, good company that takes good care of their employees. So something that pops up in our mind is back in those days is the fan companies basically. They take good care of people. A lot of people aspire to be part of them. They pay well, and their employee benefits are really good. So yeah, the goal is clear, but I'm not sure how to go there. Obviously, I needed some help. So I am from EC. I passed out my undergrad from EC. Needless to say, EC does not focus on computer science related subjects. It's kind of quite obvious to me that there is some gap in between what I should do for the job that I'm aiming for and the current skill set that I got. Back in the day, jobs for EC people were not easy. I'm not the topper in my class. Even the toppers found it hard to get placed in top EC companies. In fact, toppers in every branch found it hard to get placed in their respective core departments. Software is very big. Back then, now it's very big. It needs a lot of people, and obviously it has opportunities for everybody. And that's why I decided I should shift from EC to software. So like I said, there is obviously some gaps that I need to fill. Fortunately for me, I had a friend who knows what these gaps are. If it was not for this guy, and if I had to ask some other guy from those CS departments, I am not sure if I would have asked them. But this guy, he's like a CS pro in the college. He's from mechanical, but he's quite interested in this computer science related subjects. He designed a lot of campus websites. So he's like the go-to guy for me. He's on the top of my head when this kind of question came to me. So I went to him. I asked him, "Come on, please tell me how to do this." So he suggested me that the goal, the funda of your preparation is going to be DS and algorithms, data structures and algorithms. Okay, the word is out there. It's going to be data structures and algorithms. Now what? So how do I attain some kind of mastery on these subjects? So I asked him the same thing. He said, go refer to gigs for this. So I'm talking about 2013-14 time. Geeks for Geeks is one of the single spot for Indians to go for algorithms and data structures. If you kind of compare what is available today, I think there are a lot of things that are available in the market to teach people about data structures and algorithms. But this Geeks for Geeks was all that is there back then, and it's really good actually. But I don't like reading content on the website. I like to listen and learn because that's what I've been doing all my life. In the school, in the college, in the intermediate, everywhere there is a lecturer. He uses the blackboard. He teaches us. We understand it as much as we can. We make a notes of it, note it down, we revise it, and that's how we digest the subject. So I asked him, I want something visually to help me digest these concepts. So he suggested these courses available in the websites like NPTEL. So this is, I think this is a government initiative where the lectures of the computer science and other fields are recorded in the classroom of IITs and uploaded for free for people. I think this is one of the beauties of modern day. The knowledge is free, and what you can do with it is totally in your hands. I'm one of those benefactors. I suggest you also take full advantage of all of this. So I opened NPTEL. So we kind of shortlisted something like 4 courses actually: DSA 1, DSA 2, OS and DBMS. So each of those courses has something around 44 lectures. So these courses are real courses taught to the students in those colleges for the whole semester. So for whole semester, meaning each course is going to span like 44 lectures, and they do span 44 lectures, and each of these videos like 50 minutes. So I got started with the DSA 1. Luckily, the kind of mathematics that is there in DSA 1 is not something you have to bang your head on to understand. That's really beautiful, and what I'm trying to say is the math is easy, but the concepts are a lot. There are many concepts you need to understand, like the runtime, what is sorting, what is the time complexity, what is the space complexity, and how much time does it take to run, etc. So yeah, the courses are there. I'm getting started on each of them, but like I've already shared, it was very hard for me to focus on those subjects. So each 50-minute video lecture took around 3 hours for me, at least 3 hours for me. I will explain why. That's because it was very hard for me to focus on those concepts. It was actually very hard for me to sit there at least for all that time and focus on the subject. So my CGPA is low, my concentration is low. So, but my dream kind of overcame the laziness that I had, and I know I had to focus. I did focus. But this is not a perfect world, and I'm one of the imperfect persons here. So each lecture took like 3 hours for me. How I referred those lectures? Let us say the lecturer had taught some concept for about 1 minute, and somehow I did not understand that concept, or my mind floated away and I kind of lost that point. Luckily, since it's a lecture which is a recorded lecture, I could skip to the point until where I understood and replay it again and understand it. The funda here is to digest the concept that the lecturer has taught you. So I could go back, be it 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is. I could go back, refer to the video again, understand it, note it down, basically digest the concept that's there. In addition to this, what are the other reasons that it took a lot of time for me? Control T, new tab, whatever distraction that is there, giving into it, but definitely come back to the goal that you're planning for and focus on it. So yeah, 4 courses that I have taken. Each of the lectures like 44 lectures, so it coming to around 176 lectures. So 176 lectures. I don't think I completed the DBMS, so let's remove like 25-30 lectures out of there. So it's coming around 150 lectures. 3 hours for each lecture. That's like 450 hours is the kind of time I spent to learn this subject. It's not mastery also, to learn this subject. 450 hours of grueling pain I had to endure to sit there, learn whatever, to get head start of what the concepts are really. So all this learning only helped me to understand what is being discussed in Geeks for Geeks. So that's quite a start. I'm pretty sure each lecture won't take 3 hours for most of you. But I'm sharing my experience, right? So I completed it. Then I think I took around 6 to 8 months to complete this. So after that I started preparing in Geeks for Geeks. So how I prepared, also I'll share some story, share some experience. So my hometown from my office location is like 350 odd kilometers. That's like 1 night journey. So out of 4 weekends that a month has, 1 weekend I used to come home. All the other 3 weekends I used to spend in the office location, city only. So this time I used to go to the office. I sleep late, so I wake up also late. By the time I get ready, do the daily stuff, go to gym or whatever, by the time I reach office, it's already 12 o'clock. So I eat something on the way and go to office, and then sit there, spend some time for 15 minutes on the computer, then start this lecture. So all this journey happened for like 6 to 8 months. Finally I finished them. Now I'm pretty sure I'm not master of most of the subjects. However, I have decided that I should start giving interviews. I'll say why giving interviews in spite of not being ready is very important. Actually, giving interviews is part of preparation. Back in the day, our dream goal was to get hired in Amazon. Why Amazon? Because they hired. Google did not have so much hiring back in those days. So Amazon hired like crazy. They even hire like crazy right now. So Amazon was the go-to company for us. So one fine day, the Amazon recruiter itself called me, asking me to come for interview. I was glad, so I went there. I think I cleared around 2 rounds there. The third round was design, and I did not sleep the day before also. Somehow that happened and I couldn't clear it. So yeah, the first round of Amazon is gone. But I did learn something that, since I cleared 2 rounds of interviews, I was more confident than before giving interview. So I was kind of feeling okay about myself that this could be done actually. So I gave this interview after one year of joining the first company. Then I kind of stopped giving interviews because I got a hike in my company at business, which is really good. So I show some gratitude. I did not want to leave the company right away. So I decided to stay for some more time. After like 2 years, I think after 2 years, 4 months or something, I wanted to change again. So I started giving interviews again. So to give interviews again, I had to revise all the subjects that is there. Now how did I do the revision? The running notes that I had during my preparation for the first round really helped me. I could skim through all those concepts really quickly, because all of that was written by me. All of that was already understood by me. So going through them was piece of cake. But it was not easy. Every time I wanted to revise all the subjects that are there, it took me at least 3 to 4 days. So how I did that, after office we come home around 9 p.m, 9:30 p.m. That's when we freshen up, we had our dinner, and then we still sit there like until 11:30, 12 o'clock. So every day 1.5 hour or 2 hours preparation for revision, and doing this for 3-4 days, I could finish the revision of all the subjects. So I did this revision every time I had an interview, like 3 days before the interview. Let's say I took an interview on Monday. I did this revision on Friday, the day before Monday, or Saturday. And let's say then very next weekend there is another interview. I tried to do the revision once again. So there is revision once again, and the preparation, the revision actually helped me get into the mood of these algorithms. Our daily work does not involve a lot of algorithms. Everybody knows that, but the companies want to test you on algorithms only. I'll tell you why. Companies also hire a lot of people from colleges, from campuses, and one of the foolproof ways of testing these college grads is testing them on their subjects. Algo DS are their subjects. As we are competing for that open position in that company, we are actually competing with all these college people for that particular open position. So this open position interview is designed in such a way to test all kinds of people. The majority is college people, and they test college people also, and also us also. So that's how the interviews are around data structures and algorithms. Okay, so I did this revision. This notes helped me revise like anything. I after giving like maybe 5-6 interviews, I got my position of my choice. I got like 50% hike actually. That's a decent hike. But I'm talking about the second switch. First switch. For the campus placement, I had to give like 10-12 interviews because, like I said, college days. I'm not the best of what I am. After college, in the first company, I did all the work I need to do to become a better programmer, become a better coder. Happened 2 years, new job. But this new job happened in about just 5 to 6 companies of interviews. That's good, right? So I stayed there. I stick to that company for like another 2 years. Then I switched again. The third company I worked only for like 5 months. While working, I don't know why, I just opened Google. I was just browsing around. So because when you join a new company, we have some time in hand. Right? During that time, I opened this Google career page for no particular reason actually, and I just randomly applied for the open positions in the Google career page. Like after applying for like 4 or 5 positions, one fine day I got this call from Google HR. He called me. He asked me if I'm interested. I said yes, and then we had the first round of interview. The first round of interview was over Hangouts. It was done with a Googler from New York. It was at 10 p.m. our time. So I had to really prepare myself to be alert, to be fresh at 10 p.m. in the night, because I'm generally fresh in the mornings. But I had to take extra effort to be attentive during that time. Somehow things worked out. I cleared the first round. Then I got called to the on-site. There are three rounds happened in the on-site interview. First one was around data structures and algorithms. Second one was one small data structures, but my TL came and asked me some design question. And the third round was done by my manager. My manager checked various traits around how I think about the product, how googly I am, and what kind of interpersonal skills I have, what kind of team building skills I have. After that, they took another 3-4 weeks to finalize the decision, and I got the good news that I got hired. So this is about it. This is about the journey. So few things I would like to stress here is take notes while you are going through those lectures, preparing, because like I said, during the second revision it only took 2-3 days for me to revise all those. So taking notes is important, and be brave enough to go give that interview. Because every company will have cooling period anyway. After 6 months you can apply again. 6 months is very short time. So be brave enough to go give that interview, because giving interview is also part of preparation. On the day of, let's say you got rejected for that company, on that day, the kind of frustration you get, the kind of the feeling of I have to take revenge kind of feeling will help you leap on the preparation for like at least 2-3 times. On that day, on the next day of this rejection, you will have your blood all pumped up. You will study like anything, and that will really help you also. That will really help you prepare for the next company that you're going to apply. So giving interviews is very important. For a given position, the company does not interview just one guy. They'll interview at least 5 to 10 people. So getting rejected is bound to happen in this kind of a scenario. So it's okay to get rejected, but be brave enough to go give that interview. And every time you go give that interview, there is something to learn about that company or the kind of questions that are asked at this particular point in time. So yeah, this is one of those points I wanted to stress. Be brave enough and focus on the subjects for sure: data structures, algorithms, DBMS, and OS. I think that's all. So yeah, all the best, guys. I hope I did not bore you for long. I hope you had something to take away from this particular session that I'm trying to give you. Uh, and thank you. Yeah, please share this video to whoever friends you have, who you think will be finding some use in watching this video. Please subscribe also. I'm trying to come up with more interesting content, and I'm not sure what kind of content it's going to be, but I'll try my best. Thank you.